Around 95% of traders lose money. If you want to be part of the 5%, you need to have a winning system and the confidence to trust it. A lot of traders think they have a good strategy and keep losing because most of the time the bigger problem is you and how you let your emotions interfere with your trades, and you never know if the system actually works. I'm sharing this 40-minute trading session for you to watch and learn and see what happens if you would stop interfering with your trades. We won't be panicking and we won't be closing out too early. All we do in this session is using price action setups and let the market play out. Pay attention and take notes. If you can't watch the whole video now, save it for later. It's free education. It's a holiday today in most places, but we're still having the session as scheduled. And what we're going to do today is we will use a different approach where I'm not going to be interfering much with managing trades. So it's going to be a very different approach to what we're used to and all the other sessions where I'm actively managing trades. So this one here is really to see the difference, and there are going to be different ways to trading the markets. We will be looking at, let's say, the pound yen and the USD CAD. Let's say we're starting on January is usually a bit slow. Let's do 1st February. That's a weekend, so we'll be on a Monday. I'll set this to Eastern time. Spreads, we have very good spreads, 0.5. Do the same with the USD CAD. Sometimes we even have less than 5 pips, 0.5 pips, but we can leave it at this for now. Leverage, we'll put it at 200. Commissions, we'll have $1. Should we have $2? Around to $2. It aligns with what we usually pay. Perfect. Okay, so we're starting February 2025. We'll be trading pound and USD CAD. Very nice. Chart setup. Do the same for this pair. Okay, perfect. Session map. So let's skip forward till, I would say, pre-London. On the 1 hour. Okay, we are pre-London. Going to be trading likely throughout the London, maybe New York session, but we will not be trading during the Asia session. So that's already something to know. And if we take a look here, the market has gapped down. So we have a gap down on the pound yen. Let's look on the USD CAD. On the USD CAD, price has gapped up. Okay, we can adjust our chart here a little bit. Let's do a scale fix. Let's put this at 49. That's a bit better. Okay, so the way I analyze this, obviously we do have a previous resistance. We do have a support formed. And we also have a resistance up there. If I look on the 4 hour, that aligns very well. So this is going to be our target. If we'll go with 30 minute, we have a little bit of difference here on the levels. Once we have a close below here, that would definitely be preferable. I'm gonna just add this one as an additional zone, an additional support area. 15-minute looks about the same. I'm not going to be paying attention to those two candles. We know this is a resistance, now should be acting as a support on the higher time frames. So this will be our target if we're going short. So the idea is to go short, take a sell. And let's look on the other pair. All right, on this one, let's also mark those areas. We have a resistance up there. And we also have a area here that aligns very well. Okay, I'm going to add this one here in the meantime. This is going to be a support area. Now if I look on the 4 hour, this does not look very promising on the 4 hour because we have a lot of areas where price is rejecting. This is likely going to act as a resistance as well. If we go down to the 30 minute, on the 30 minute we could take a buy above. So we could go long above this area, but we'd have to wait for price to approach that zone. So I'm going to adjust this because we need to see a move up, like we will see a move up, a rejection, and then here price will come back down. Then eventually a bit later on we will get that breakout. This is the resistance, so I will be considering taking buys going long above this area, at least to fill the gap, potentially move a little bit higher up. And on the USD CAD we have a very nice range to the downside with a target identified at the previous resistance, which should now act as a support on the 1 hour and on the 4 hour time frame. So you can see we have a very nice range, nice gap to the downside. What I also can see is this last 4 hour candle has made a high, so this should be respected. Now if I'm looking on the 30 minute, we're still above that area. Ideally I would like to see a close here, see price move down a little bit more before taking a sell. On the, let's look on the GBP JPY, same story here. I would like to see price move up and maybe break above 191.5 before we can execute a buy. So with that said, let's just let this one run, and we will be waiting for a few more candles to close here. I can speed up the time. Let's speed this up. See, because this is our support, at least we need to see a break and close below 147. That's the minimum. Ideally, we'll get price breaking below this support here on the 30 minute as well. Let's see if that 4 hour candle, see the 4 hour candle is respecting its own high. If I pause this, that was the high on the 4 hour. See, it has not been breaking its own high, which is good. That's what we would like to see. So in terms of the timing, it's we're about 10 minutes past. See, we are approaching the London Open soon. We should speed up the time a little bit more so we can get some more candles. Okay, 1 hour has created an upper wick. It's rejecting nicely. Now we need it to break the low of the previous one. Perfect. Now it has broken the low of the previous candle. Let's wait for the candle to close. Speed this up a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the 15 minute and we'll skip to the next close. Okay, so it's 30. Now we have a 30-minute candle that has closed. With a nice 30-minute candle close. See, we're still above. I would like to see at least a 30-minute closing below, because on the 1 hour we're above there. It's 1:30, so if I'm skipping to the next 30-minute candle, we will have the 1 hour candle closing at the same time, which would be ideal. So let's do so. Okay, it has broken below, but it has closed at the exact same level. So see on the 1 hour, we have that close at that same area here. 30-minute has essentially rejected. So that's not good enough because we don't know what's going to happen. There's a chance that this will reject and move up, so we have to wait. Let's in the meantime take a look at pound yen. Still moving sideways. See here, I'm not interested in anything unless price is breaking above 191.5. Go back to the USD CAD. Same story here. We'll be skipping forward to the next 30-minute candle. Wonderful. Okay. See on the 30-minute, now we have that nice close below. We have close below, and if you look on the 50-minute, obviously we have a nice break and close below as well. That's very good. So price should now be respecting this high. It should not be breaking that high. Now if we look on the 30-minute, I can take a sell. If I'm taking a sell, I could put the stop above there, but look at how big this range is. We'll be looking at a 2, 4, or probably a 5, 6 to 1 ratio almost, which is very big, but chances are going to increase as well that we would get stopped out. So if I put the stop above here, we have a much nicer ratio, more reasonable, more likely to reach our target and less likely to get stopped out in the meantime. And I have an opportunity to manage risk. See, we can manage risk above the high of this 30-minute candle, because price should be staying below 147.123. So with that said, let's place a sell. I'm going to use a risk percentage. This will be a 1%. Before we do that, let's take a look at the news. We have low impact. So we only have some medium impact news on the euro. However, we are trading the USD CAD and the GBP JPY, so the euro is not that important. So we'll be placing a sell visual mode. Stop, like I said, goes above that candle. Take profit. I'll put it right here at the resistance a little bit above. Now our risk reward ratio is 2.7 almost, 2.69 to be accurate. And like I said, this will be a trade where I will not be interfering in between. So we may close some of the position if we get a candle actually closing above this area, but I will not be interfering as long as any candles are open, and we're also not making any decisions while price is moving down while the candle is still open. So the goal here is really to see how price is moving based on our initial analysis. So if we play this, I mean, I might as well now just skip forward, because like I said, as long as price is not closing above this high, we won't interfere. Okay, we have a candle closing bullish, has broken the low here, so it's reacting to this 30-minute support. However, on the 1 hour, you see the candle is still open. It's making a lower high and a lower low. We don't know what's happening here. Let's skip to the next candle. Wonderful. So you have a nice candle breaking and closing below. Now, still slightly above this low. We would like it to break that low. Next candle is moving up. Now you see how the candle closed. It's closing as an inside candle, respecting the low, respecting the high, and is closing exactly below this old support, which now can turn into resistance, which means this would present a nice opportunity actually to add to this position. So if I'm placing another sell stop below this low, I'm putting it below this low because even though we have inside candle formation, we should expect momentum. The difference is very small. The probability is much greater if we wait for this low to be cleared as well. So this is going to be a position that we're going to add. Let's move our stop on the first trade. Stop loss manually. Put the stop above here. We're only risking about 0.5%, which means we can add another 0.5% since we're risking 1%. So this will be a sell stop, and I'm using 0.5%. Target goes to the exact same level. Entry is going to be below this low. Stop loss, I'm placing it up there and accept. Okay, so we have all this mapped out. We've got a nice setup here, a great opportunity to add to the position. We have a nice gap down that should be filled. Market has been building up a little bit of momentum, has come down, breaking below the support. So let's see what's happening next. I'm going to skip here to the next candle. Before I do so, let's take a look again on the GBP JPY. All right, GBP JPY has come up. See, we have a nice formation here, respecting the high, respecting the low. Price is still below. So what if we are taking an entry that looks reasonable? Let's look on the 1 hour. Price would have potential to move up. So yeah, we should be using this as a target because that was the support. And we're taking an entry here. Let's look on the 15-minute. On the 15-minute, we have a nice formation here. See, we have 2 candles now so far, respecting the high, respecting the low. So we can actually justify bringing our stop a bit closer in. This is a great way of taking trades whenever you don't have as much time or you can't monitor them. Okay, so this will be a buy stop. Now the question is, we already are in a position on the other one, but we're still going to use a 1% because again, the goal here is really to see how those individual trades will work out based on not really interfering. So we're trying to give them as much room as possible and let the market move and let it play out. This is going to be a buy stop target. Place it right there. Entry is above. Stop is going to be below this 50-minute candle. Risk reward ratio is a 1. That's perfect. Now we can go back to the USD CAD. And I'm paying definitely much more attention to this one. And And let's continue here to the next candle as well on the 30-minute and skip forward. Okay, wonderful. If I zoom in, you can see we have another candle that has reacted to this previous support, clearly turning it into resistance, still respecting the low of the mother candle. Let's continue on to the next one. Okay, still more. See, the market is still building up momentum. Very nice. Perfect. It's moving in our direction. So this could even be an opportunity if you see this, where we could actually add another position or bring the stop of this one lower down. But we're not going to be doing that now. We're letting it be. Okay, we've gotten filled. Candle has just about closed in that zone. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour has closed below. Going back to the 30-minute, we'll skip here to the next candle. Okay, price is coming up. Now we would, in a normal scenario, let me remove some of these lines here. In a normal scenario, when we are managing trades actively, manually, I would be closing out if a candle is breaking and closing above this resistance. But like I said, we're just going to let it play out. Okay, very nice. It's just created an upper wick. Let's continue. Starting to move down again. Another indecision. Okay, very nice move down. Price has rejected, but there's still room. There's still room for this to continue. Candle close bullish. Let's see the next one. So what we can see at this point is that the price is creating a new resistance here. As you see, we had a close below. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 candles that have reacted to this one, and big drop here. Okay, it's almost reached our target, but like I said before, we are not interfering here. We're not making any decisions. We're just letting this play out. Let's skip over to the pound yen. Okay, so pound yen. Let's see what happened here in the pound yen. Pound yen, it has moved down again, made a still what's okay, made another low. Now we've gotten filled. Our target was based on the setup here, so we didn't actually get that breakout up there. We have not gotten filled, but since I still left this pending order, we've gotten filled now. Again, like I said, we're not really interfering on this one, so we'll just have to wait and see. Look on the 5-minute. Okay, in the 5-minute, there would actually be a potential that this is turning into support. This candle already made a lower wick, so we're still good based on that. Let's go back to the USD CAD. All right, USD CAD. Continue on here on the 15-minute. I'd like to skip forward on the 15-minute. See, we even have some news. So we even had some news here because the range was so big and we didn't have any news that were close to our entry. We're not paying too much attention to it. Next candle, price is moving down. We can see that slightly broken the low. On the 15-minute, it is reacting to this area, to this minor resistance, but that's not something we saw on the 30-minute and also not on the 1 hour. See, because on the 1 hour, the resistance was clearly at 145, which is now turning into support. You can look on the 4 hour as well. Same story on the 4 hour. In terms of management, if you would be trading this and managing it manually, would be bringing the stop at least very minimum above those highs. Even better, it should be at break even at that point, both of the positions. Let's continue to the next one. Okay, now what this candle essentially is doing is, again, it's building up momentum. You see it's respecting the high and the low. It is reacting to this old resistance, but there's still potential that this will continue down. All right, we had quite a big move up. Now, if you would be trading this on the live market, certainly during this move up, the emotions would kick in. You would be thinking about closing out. But again, we are letting this one run. Either we're getting stopped out or it's going to reach our target, all based on the initial analysis. If I'm looking at this here, it makes sense that this candle is rejecting and it's confirming that this support is turning into resistance. So we had this nice rejection. Market has formed a bit of a support and is now rejecting, which means price should continue lower down. Let's see the next one. Okay, a small candle, small bodied bear candle. See the next one. Another small bodied candle. So this is creating a resistance at this point. So I'm just going to play this one a little bit for a change, and we'll see what's happening. So we really should see no candle breaking and closing above here. It should continue up. It should be rejecting and moving down. That's the idea. And again, it really aligns with what we've seen before with our initial analysis, because we have room for price to move down. Now this candle closed above, but it's still within the rejection. Have to wait for the next one. Only 5 minutes. This is now what we would see as a range. I can pause this. The 5 minute, we would see a small range here. See, exactly, we have a 5 minute resistance and we have a 5 minute support. So building up momentum, as soon as price is breaking below here, this should continue down. And there we go. Price is breaking below. Wonderful, wonderful. See, if now with, let's assume you have not been in a trade yet, this would be a nice opportunity to take a sell. You could take a sell at the close of that candle, stop above there. We still know that this is going to be a target because it is a previous resistance on the 1 hour. You have a nice inside candle on the 1 hour. 30 minute, nice upper rejection. It's clearly turned this support into resistance. And you could even bring the stop a bit closer because this 30-minute candle should not be breaking its own high. But let's just play and see. Okay, it's breaking the low. Very nice. So it's all about patience now. That's really, as you all know, especially those of you, which would be all of you who've done the mentorship with me or had sessions, I always emphasize the importance of managing trades manually. But there are many ways, and especially once you start, even automating a system, or you want to take some trades, additional trades. Okay, let's pause this for a second. Now we like to add news, but you can see how price has reached our target. Wonderful execution. That was a very nice trade. We had a very nice risk reward ratio and it's gotten filled. So what this does is really it's eliminating a lot of the emotions that sometimes can interfere, especially when you have a tendency to close trades prematurely. And what I've seen a lot of times what can help there is really if you split your position and say 2 portions and you just let some of it be based on your initial analysis. You place a stop, you place a target, and you watch it and you let it play out and see over time, once you have a sample size, what the performance is going to be. And based on that, you can either continue on or you can make some changes. So let's see where our P&L, we have, well, very, very nice trade. We're up 4.8%. Let's see what happened on the GBP JPY. Okay, beautiful. See, so the GBP JPY has moved up. We had a nice range here. We had the target, and you can see it exactly moved up to our target, rejected, and has come back down. So very nice execution. Going to remove some of those lines to clean up our chart. Then we will be looking for the next opportunity. And leave this one because this was our trade idea. This is no longer relevant. Okay, let's do a top down. 4 hour has closed bullish. It has closed at the old support, now resistance, has made an upper wick, essentially rejecting. The 1 hour has moved up, rejected, has come back down. Let's look on the 30 minute. We can also see we have a zone here between those levels that can be a rejection zone. 30 minute closed bearish, but it rejected. So it's 50 minutes as well. So it's reacting, it's respecting a support at 191.5. So was it respecting the support at 191.5? If you think, what are the chances that we have a breakthrough? We had a major resistance. This is just to retest, and we can move up again to see if this resistance is holding. So if I'm looking on the 15 minute, let's say in the 15 minute, if we're going long above that candle, we place a stop below. Our risk reward ratio is not ideal. Let's look on the 1 hour. Again on the 4 hour. I mean, our next target would be at 192. We don't know what's going to happen at 192. That is strong 4 hour candle close. So if the next 4 hour candle manages to close, is managing to just break the high of the previous one, this would be a very high probability that it will continue up to 192. If I'm using that knowledge on the 1 hour, we could say, well, Let's give this a try. We take a buy above the high here, stop below. Even though we had a previous reaction, we're anticipating that with momentum, price can move up. And we set our target at 192. On the 30-minute, nice rejection. Well, makes sense. We'll do this. So let's go ahead. We'll use again a 1% buy stop. Put the target up there. Very simple. Entry above, stop goes below. Accept. And before we continue, let's take a look on the USD CAD. There's still, not much else on the USD CAD. Let's remove those lines as well. Clean up our chart. Now this may turn into resistance, so I'm going to leave this one there. Let's look on the big picture. 4 hour, 1 hour, we have the major rejection. We did have an inside candle, but we are at a support. Next target would be down here. So the only option would be if price is breaking and closing below 145, we may be able to push down to 143.99. That could be one idea, where at least on the 15-minute we would need some kind of confirmation. Let's keep that in mind. Yeah, let's keep that in mind that we can potentially go short on the USD CAD below 145.369. Meantime, we'll continue here on the pound yen and we'll play this and watch what happens. See, candle closed, nice rejection. Still is confirming that this is holding a support. See what the next one does. We don't want that candle to close below. If it's closing below, I will go ahead and delete this buy stop, especially if that candle is breaking this low. We have about 15 minutes left. See what's happening in those 15 minutes. You just have to wait and be patient. We have about 6 minutes left. All right, and 30-minute closed. Okay, now if we had not already placed a buy stop, we would definitely do so now, because this is a very nice bullish confirmation, a nice rejection at support. So definitely makes sense to go long. You could even bring the stop below this candle. We could do that. Yeah, we could actually do that, because that makes sense. So what do we have here? Okay, buy stop, stop loss. Let's say add a new stop loss. Since I'm changing the stop from below this low to this low because of how that candle closed. Perfect. See, now the probability is very high that this candle should move up. And there we go, we've gotten filled. Again, even if it's coming down and this candle is breaking its own low, on this session, we're not interfering. I'm not going to manage this trade manually. We're simply going to pay attention and just watch and see how the initial setups burn out. Because this is what will help you with building confidence, knowing that your initial analysis is correct. And this is what we're going to achieve to really see the performance on those trades where we don't interfere. Especially helpful for those who have a tendency to close out positions prematurely. And once this candle is breaking above this high, this should continue up. As long as it's still below that high chance that it will pull back. Let's look on the USD CAD. The USD CAD still open. Once we have a close below 145, like I said, we may be able to take a sell. Let's just watch this one. We've got a bullish close, but it's reacting to this old support, now resistance. It is starting to pull back a little bit. Okay, so price is coming down. We may or may not get stopped out here. Of course, probability is lower that we will get stopped out, but possible. But we're not interfering, we're just letting this play out. We're simply waiting to see if the bulls manage to move up based on our analysis that this was a retest. Since you had a major resistance, it should hold a support, meaning probability is higher the price will move up rather than moving down. This is the beginning of a new minor support right at this point. We had a rejection candle to the upside, but it did close bullish. Next one is breaking the high, beginning of a change in structure, and now we have to wait for price to break this high. Once it's breaking that high, very, very high, there we go. See, at this point, it's almost guaranteed now that we will reach our target. Of course, in in normal market conditions, if we are managing a trade actively, we would be moving to stop. But again, we won't be doing that in this simulation. The price is moving up. Bulls have a lot of momentum. See, and there we go. We've gotten filled. Wonderful. Perfect. Let's look on the USD CAD. All right, well, on the USD CAD, we missed the move. But also you can see the prediction. So I was saying I would consider taking a sell if you get a close on the 15-minute below 145. We exactly did get that close. Unfortunately, we were busy on the other chart and missed that entry. So even if we had to stop above there, we would have gotten a nice move down, captured that momentum all the way down to the next support. So very nice trade this would be. But unfortunately, we've missed it. Okay, well, we've had a very good day. We're up almost 6.5%. The New York session has come to an end. So let's continue and pick this up on the next day. I'm skipping to the 1 hour. We'll skip forward here throughout the Asia session and we'll continue pre-London hour before the London Open. So we'll be doing a new top-down analysis, even though some of the levels will be the same, but it's easier to do it that way. We have a support. We do have to keep in mind this old support that now can turn as, hold as a resistance. We may be able to form a new resistance and go short. That's one idea. Let's see what this is on the big picture. Big picture wise, I'm not interested in taking sells because we have rejections to the left. We have a lot of potential support areas. So no sells below 143, but we may be able to take a sell once this 4-hour candle is breaking its own low right here. See on the 4-hour inside candle formation as well. 1 hour would have a change in structure here. Okay, let's look on the 30-minute. Okay, so this may be this could be an opportunity to go short. Let's look on the 30-minute again. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So the 4-hour is open. I'm going to place a sell stop, and we'll be using same 1%. Target goes all the way down there. Stop goes above. We have a very nice risk reward ratio. And okay, maybe we have to bring our. No, we actually have a good range. Yeah, on the 30-minute, we actually have a very nice range. So that's justifiable. Now let's take a look on the pound yen. All right, pound yen, we have a similar structure, but let's also do a new top-down analysis on the pound yen. We've got a previous support. We have a support here. We have some levels in between. Let's look on the 4-hour. We have a rejection on the 4-hour. If price is breaking above 192.6, I may be interested in going long. So on the 1 hour, 1 hour is rejecting. Again, 30-minute move down, up. Let's look on the 15-minute. Yeah, we'd have to wait. We'd have to wait here. This would be the next higher resistance, and this is our current key level. Depending on the next candles, maybe if we get on the 15-minute a resistance formed here, we can take a sell similar to what we're doing on the USD CAD. See a similar idea that this is just a pullback during a bearish move, a bullish pullback. And here as well, if this is a bearish move, we get a bullish pullback. The only issue is price has retraced, has moved up already quite a bit, but we have to wait. Let's wait and see. All right, so let this one play here on the USD CAD. All right, let's see if this is getting filled, if our sell stop is getting filled or not. We have a good range on the 30-minute. So you have a lot of big move up, a lot of bullish candles, consecutive bull candles. Next 30-minute is closing in a few minutes. Not yet, almost, but at least the candle closed bearish. And now we've gotten filled. See, we have a floating P&L now. All right, so this is just based on our initial analysis. Again, we're not going to interfere. If you would be managing this one manually, we can do so if price would be breaking, closing above this gray area. But as of now, we'll just be leaving this one open. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. Nice move down on the 1 hour. See what's happening on the pound yen. Trade price is approaching the resistance at 192. Let's go back to the USD CAD. Right, so we're just going to let this one play out. See what happens. We have determined that this is a major support. We also determined that a big bearish move has happened, and this move up was just a pullback, so a bullish pullback during a bearish move down. And we're expecting this one to reach our target. Still open. About 10 minutes left, 10-15 minutes for the 1 hour to close. This is really the time where your patience is being tested in the live market. And a lot of guys do make the mistake of closing a trade too early, closing it prematurely. So we're doing this one as a sort of as an exercise to build confidence in your initial analysis. So you can see, because all we would need is more trades working out and resulting in wins than losses, so that overall you end up with a positive P&L. We've only been risking 1% per position. We did, however, add risk on the first trade we took, but there's no opportunity to do so at this point. We can see an inside candle formation, which is very nice. On the 15 and 5 minute, you would likely see that this is a range. We can do so. Let's go down to the 15. A little bit of a move up, and yeah, beginning. So likely this is going to be the support on the 5 minute range, creating a box. This would be the upper band right here, and 1 hour will be closing in just a few minutes. Closed as a rejection candle. If you're analyzing the 1 hour, it does make sense because we had a support here, and if you look on the 50-minute lines as well, now we need this one to break below here and fill the range all the way down to 143. Let's check again on the, once again, we've missed the move. So the idea was to go long above 192.647. Price did break above. Would have been a very nice trade. There would have been a very nice move up. Reached our target exactly as predicted. Price has come back down. This likely is going to do another retest because we had a nice rejection. Beautiful price action setup. So we're still in this USD CAD sell. Let's see how this is going to play out. Whether or not we will be stopped out, we'll be finding out shortly. Has not yet managed to break below the support. 5 minute just means that on the 5 minute we would see a bigger range. If you have a nice 5 minute range, as you also know that if price now breaking below, we can do a measured move. This is already confirmed that this support here is turning into resistance, so we could keep our stop above. We could even add to the sell, stop above there, target the same area. Should we or should we not do so? Let's see. 30 minute. No, 30 minute looks good. But yeah, let's do this. So we're going to, but only add 0.5%. We use a sell stop, target, entry, put it below the low, stop goes above here. We have a reasonable risk reward ratio, and let's see what happens. Price is coming down, and almost we've gotten filled. Have we not gotten filled yet? And there we are. This trade, perfect. See, now this is a nice confirmation. Break below support. We should be getting this momentum now that will push price further down. If we look on the 15 minute, okay, 15 minute close as well, very nice. Just making an upper wick, has broken the low of the previous one. So this momentum should continue down. Let's see. And once again, I'm not going to interfere. We're just letting this play out. We made an analysis. We applied all the knowledge, all the different concepts we've learned so far. And this is really to just build confidence, see how those setups work out, understand the probability. Very, very nice move here. See, nice rejection is confirming this is now resistance. Beautiful. This is a very nice trade to be in at this point, especially since we added to this position and it's breaking the low. See now in a normal market environment, we would be managing risk here. We would be manually, managing this position, but we won't be doing that here. We'll just let this play out. See if it can move down to our target. Price is moving up a little bit, but that's okay. Still running in a profit. Okay, got a strong move up, but this is what should hold as resistance. See, as long as price is still below this area, this should hold as resistance. Check the 30-minute. All right, 30-minute is still moving up and down. We have a very nice range, so we always have to look to the left here. We have a very beautiful range. We have done a good job so far based on the information we have with setting our TP. Okay, maybe we're getting stopped out there, but as long as the 30-minute is not closing above there, this should move down again. See, because this was a 30-minute support, should turn into 30-minute resistance. All depends on how this candle is going to close. 29 and 30, beautiful. Very nice move. Let's see if the bears have enough momentum to push price down. We have the 1 hour candle closing in just a few minutes. I mean, so far this has been an incredible day. And there we go. See, now it's pretty much guaranteed as soon as it's broken that low, that this small range that is left will be filled and price should move down to our target. Let's see if that happens. Based on experience, it should, and likely it will. Starting to retrace a little bit, but the 30-minute is still open. A lot that can happen. And candle broke its own low, and we've gone filled on both positions. Beautiful. All right, guys. So yeah, so this has been like I said, a absolutely incredible day. I mean, it's the second day we're up 10%. We have not risked more than 1% on any given position. So that's very good, aligns with all our risk management rules. And you can really see the difference here is trading. Obviously, this is a bit on the higher time frames. You won't be seeing this kind of performance every single day. But it's really, if you do a proper analysis initially and you have mapped out a good setup, you have a good range, it makes absolutely sense to let some trades move, give the market a little bit of room to move. Make sure you're not closing out prematurely. Maybe even split your position in half, manage one half, let the other half be. And we'll continue this next time. Next session will be Sunday next week. Trade safe, and we'll see you next time.